of the things I like to do outdoors in Philadelphia is I'm a people person, so I like to walk around, watch people, engage people. I like to shop. I like to see any new ideas going on in Philly, any type of events going on, things like that.
When it comes to outdoors, I just enjoy sitting back, relaxing on a hammock, enjoying the nice outdoor weather.
I like to rock climb with my daughter outdoors a lot, and we will go for lots of walks, a little bit of tennis.
One thing I like to do outdoors is kind of just walk and shoot as far as photography. I'm a photographer, so just being able to capture nature in its rawest form.
Which the swallowtail, black swallowtail is like. And then also we plant milkweed for the monarchs. Two of them are dedicated to City Harvest, which is the program that encourages the gardens to donate food to various organizations. We give ours to a men's shelter down on Bainbridge Street. And this is within the Washington Square West area. There are 3 gardens in Wash West.
Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
I definitely do my best to recycle whenever I can. I also try to take public transit.
We have solar panels on our house that we put in. We only have one car. We usually bike and walk as much as we can, and don't drive it very often, period. Don't use a lot of heat and AC. Try to conserve in those ways, I guess. Eat more beans, less meats.
Make sure I don't litter. Take advantage of the recycling program that we have on our block. And just be careful the kind of money that you spend on different type of products like plastic, because plastic seems to be a problem that we have in our environment today.
Oh, like I know I just recently purchased an electric scooter to kind of stop driving my car so much, to help with like emissions and stuff like that.
Most of the time, if it's not like a big amount of trash, I try to pick it up and throw it away.
I'm gonna save the world. I'm gonna save the world. Who's gonna save the world? That's you. Who's gonna save the world? That's you. Who's gonna save the world? That's you. Who's gonna save the world? Who's gonna save the world? Oh, God. I always say I'm gonna save the world. Now it's time to do it. Clean streets are happy streets. Clean streets are happy streets. Save our planet. Clean streets are happy streets.
Nobody cares!
Clean streets are happy streets. You can do better. If you want people to be interested, then you have to be interesting, but also friendly and informative. Let people know how they can help. Wake up! Hi, would you like to help in cleaning up our neighborhood? That's not good. Would you like to help in assisting in cleaning up our neighborhood? That's just weird. How to there, neighbor? How would you like to help in cleaning up our neighborhood? It's good. It's not good enough. Clean up your trash, you dirty roach! No. You can do better. Hi, excuse me. If you live in this neighborhood and are interested in keeping the area clean, I would love to give you more information.
I don't actually live in the neighborhood. But this does look interesting. Actually, I know someone that lives here. I'll let them know.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
want to say with recycling, I don't always put everything where it needs to go.
My mindset has become pretty pessimistic about the environment in general, and thinking that individuals don't have a whole lot of power at this point without real regulations from our governing bodies. So I could probably work on that some to try to keep myself motivated to do what I as an individual can, even though it feels so effing hopeless.
I could definitely take public transit a little bit more. I would love to get an electric scooter, but I'm not just quite there yet.
Well, some of the habits, once it come to mind, is to definitely with the plastic situation. They have different things now that you can use instead of plastic, organic silverware, things of that nature. Try not to use plastic yourself that much. Hey, we used to wash dishes. We need to go back to that. And just be aware of the type of things that's needed to help out when others start to have programs going on. Instead of just turning your face from it, try to engage with them.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, y'all ready for tomorrow? It's a big day.
I don't know. I'm actually a little nervous. I've heard terrible rumors about what happens to us. They say that in order for the sanitation team to get us off the street as fast as possible, we end up in a landfill or incinerated, regardless of if we're recyclable food scraps or trash.
Yeah, I heard that too. About 90% of plastic here in Philadelphia never gets recycled. That most of us get picked up and taken to Chester landfill.
Really? But I have food scraps. That would be great for composting.
Same. Plus, I have some plastic bottles that can be made into mini planters.
It's awful. Because even though I'm filled with things that could help the environment, I'm mixed with things that could cause harm, especially if not properly disposed of.
What do you mean?
Along with all the food scraps I have, someone put clothes, broken picture frames, batteries, aluminum cans, and used oil.
No wonder the air quality is getting worse. I know there are other reasons why the air quality is bad, but I bet you this plays a big role in it.
Not to mention the landfill is disproportionately and strategically placed in low-income neighborhoods and black and brown communities.
This is a depressing cycle.
Yeah, it is.
Well, some new habits could help. It feels obvious that without changing systematically, it's going to be difficult to see the good work people are doing.
Definitely. It's as if many people gave up on caring where we end up or just don't consider the impact.
I heard over on Rising Sun Avenue, there's a place called Bennett Composting. They'll pick up your compost for a monthly charge if they service your area. They recently partnered with the city to pick up the compost for all the parks and recreational facilities. No charge. In return, the company gets to rent out an old rec center for free.
That sounds promising.
Yeah, that's nice. And still, it would be great if composting was available, even if you can't afford it, even if you don't live near a community garden.
People have been looking for change, though. The Waste Free Philly Coalition wants the next mayor of Philadelphia to sign a 5-point agenda.
5-point agenda?
Yeah, it's supposed to address issues like illegal dumping, improving the recycling system, and create jobs that make a circular economy.
That sounds good on paper. In reality, though, there are a strong few who've been profiting from negative climate change. The solution isn't going to just sound like the right thing to say or fit in the perfect little box.
Ouch.
Join the party.
Thanks. I'm hoping next time around I get to be a cereal box or even notebook paper.
We'll all be what we're meant to be. It may not be tomorrow, next month, or even years from now, but things will get better. I can feel it.
To renew my spirit, instead of doing the usual typical self-care kind of thing, I actually do my best to take a hard look at the things I'm avoiding or the things that might be overwhelming me, and I try to go ahead and get them done one by one.
I like to help people. During a time like this, especially in Philadelphia, when you outside, be aware of people, be aware of how they look, how they talk, their feelings. Try to engage them on a positive note, and just try to help out where you can.
Mostly spending time with my wife and my daughter. My daughter's hilarious. So we like to watch goofy, bad TV. We like to just hang out. Yeah, they're my people.
I just kind of take a deep breath and relax and enjoy my family, and remember that that's the most important thing.
Mainly just talking to friends and family.
Welcome from every angle. My name's Jocelyn Hockaday, your host, and I'm with Jazmin Crosby today. So let's go ahead and get into it. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Jocelyn. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Jazmin Crosby. I'm an interdisciplinary artist, educator, and musician.
Awesome. Would you mind describing, going a little depth about the interdisciplinary artist? Like, what do you mean by that?
I work in a lot of different mediums. My educational background is in photography, painting, and sculpture, but I do a lot of sound art, and I kind of think whatever the idea calls for, the kind of project falls into place from there.
Yeah, awesome. Would you mind just telling me how would you define yourself as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, I am really interested in telecommunication. I'm interested in how we relate to each other and also how we relate to the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I work a lot with found objects and trash.
Yeah. How do you incorporate like the trash and the environmental aspect into your art?
In a lot of different ways. I have 2 exhibitions that I've been working with this summer, and both incorporate a lot of found material and garbage, and yeah.
Yeah. So the exhibitions, where were they? Were they here? Were they in another location? And kind of like explain the experience of them.
Great, yeah. So I have an exhibition that's outdoors In Liquid in the Crane Arts Building here in Philadelphia. I've been really fortunate to be an artist ambassador and artist in residence with Rabbit Recycling and In Liquid. And so I was able to salvage all of these electronic cords and wires from Rabbit Recycling and weave them through the grating of the Crane Arts Building. And there's also a radio transmission that goes with the piece. So you can bring your own radio and listen to it, or check out a radio In Liquid and listen to the piece. And it's kind of about consuming plastic literally through our bodies.
I was just about to ask, like, kind of like your like thought process behind making something of that, like that kind of art. And so that's awesome. And then I know you also mentioned to me before you had a,
oh no.
You had a, don't worry about it, it happens. But I know you mentioned that you had an exhibition in Albuquerque.
Yeah, I just finished an exhibition in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm from New Mexico. And it involved some of these objects here on the table.
Nice.
And live performances and radio and drawing on the walls and on the grounds. The exhibition was called Doppler Effect.
The Doppler Effect. I believe that we have some photos as well of that exposition. We can definitely span to those in a moment. But in the meantime, could you describe kind of the thought process or like the why behind some of your art pieces, and then we can dive into some of the examples that you have here.
Yeah, so I can talk about the exhibition Doppler Effect. Doppler Effect has 3 pieces in it. The first kind of examples would be salt. So I have some here and I'll show you that, but I've been, I think in the pandemic, I was thinking a lot about geologic time and looking for things that felt essential. And salt is responsible for the electricity in our body and is also a really interesting material when we think about climate change because it carries a lot of plastic in it, and it is one of the major ways in which we consume through our bodies plastic. And so for the last 3 years, I've been going to the ocean and boiling ocean water for its salt. And so other pieces in the show, there was a large labyrinth on the floor and drawings on the wall, and three QR codes, which are also drawn with charcoal, salvaged from the, we had a massive fire in New Mexico a couple years ago, the Calves Canyon and Hermit's Peak fire. And so I went to the site just outside of Las Vegas, New Mexico, and I collected some of the charcoal. And I used little pieces like this to draw on the floor and on the walls. And the QR codes lead to these 3 QR codes that kind of have different approaches to thinking through time and survival in climate change.
And I just want to say I absolutely love the fact that you used a live example from the environment to create something and to create a conversation. I think that's awesome. And I just want to compliment also just your art in general. I think it's awesome.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn.
Yeah, of course. And so what was one of the main things that kind of urged you to use recyclable materials into your art?
I mean, I'm so interested in like the residue and the histories of trash and how we live with it, how we live with other people's stories, how things become affected through people's lives and then left. I mean, archaeology, right? That's usually like trash from other people. But I'm also interested in thinking in a complicated way about what is nature and kind of living in an environment that has been affected so profoundly by people. I think that trash is also kind of nature. It does become part of the environment, whether we like it or not. Like, as we deal with what to do with it, I think that can be a really big thing. When I was in New Mexico, I was able to visit this landfill, and it really changed my life thinking about where trash goes, how it actually can be a massive land art project, total landscaping transformation. And you know, we're burying it, right? Or in some places, I don't know. It's like there's a lot of money put into making that kind of invisible. So I'm really interested in the kind of life of garbage past when it's usable.
Yeah, especially with the fact that we have so much
of it. We have so much,
We have so
right?
much of it, and it's just as humans, we just naturally we consume so much daily, and we also get rid of things.
And
so
we are
much.
consuming it, right? Like, I think we're at this point where they say in the year 2050 there might be more plastic in the ocean than fish, which is a very like dark thing to hear, but it's like we are evolving with plastic. We have to deal with the reality that we are we have invited it here, and we have to learn how to live with it in our bodies and our ecosystem.
And then why not make art with it? You know
Right.
what I mean?
I mean, it's like the climate change is the most important crisis, I feel like, facing everyone, every creature. So.
And it affects everybody in a universal way, I
Yes.
think, as well. So now you definitely showed us the salt, because I want to definitely get into some of the things that you have brought here with us. So you brought the salt here, the charcoal you mentioned. What is this as well?
So this is verdigris, which is an ink made from copper oxidizing with salt and a tiny bit of vinegar. So it has the location and the date that the salt I collected was foraged, and these are the colors that were created. So they're all a little bit different.
And they each have different locations as well.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the same salt as this. So which one's that one?
Atlantic
I actually
City?
think these are the same. So yeah, Atlantic City
and so
salt
each-
created the copper oxidized verdigris.
Interesting. And I love the little science that's going on with this too, as well.
I'm an artist who has a major crush on science.
No, and as you should, honestly. And then you have here this rock. I love it.
Thank
Kind
you.
of let's get into like, how did you make it? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, so I made the rock in the kind of deep, dark winter of COVID lockdown. And there's a series of 7 rocks. Each of them have a time capsule within them that is meant to be opened 300 years from the exhibition. So the it kind of creates this murmuring landscape of my voice describing what's inside of the rock.
Nice.
And I am location scouting right now for the place to find the ideal location for the rock to live out its 300 years. And there's some contracts involved.
Yeah. So now that you kind of described your art to us, where can we find your art? What are we looking from you next?
Yeah.
Are we going to still see this aspect of environmentalism in your art? Kind of just lay that down for us.
Absolutely. So the upcoming exhibitions that I have, or events that I have, the Hungry Body is going to be up for a little bit longer. I have these little shrinky dinks. I'm going to be doing a workshop in Liquid this Saturday, the 12th, from 1 to 4, when you can come and make a shrinky art with us and check out the Hungry Body exhibition while it's still up. It should be really fun. Another thing I have coming up is an exhibition about fear of technology at Practice Gallery that I'm co-curating with a dear friend of mine, Quentin Maldonado.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. Thank you for coming out today. And thank you, everybody, for coming and hang out with myself, Jocelyn, and Jazmin, and for tuning in for Every Angle. We'll catch you all later.